thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody being here. Obviously, really proud of our kids and proud of our team right now. They've had, we had a good week last week, had some challenges, and yet I saw them really overcome them. And, we had two really, really good, tough road games against two quality opponents, well-coached teams, and found a way to win both of them. So had a nice day off yesterday, I'm sure, which was well-deserved. And myself, I have 5 piles of trees that are taller than everybody in here. I'm sitting outside hoping that somebody will pick them up, but it's my understanding that we don't have anybody picking them up in the city, so I'll have to have them hauled off. But that was with the coach's day off. We were dealing with ice storm debris. But it's, excited about the week. You get to come home and play at home, and our kids, I know, will appreciate being able to sleep in their beds this week. And so we got to really, have a good day today and tomorrow, and as we have Texas Tech coming in on Wednesday, and obviously we did not do a good job against them last time, and so we've got to fix some things and make some adjustments, and they're playing well, played really well yesterday against Kansas State, and beat them, and I thought they looked really, really good. They're much improved, as we all are, hopefully, this time of year from the last time we played them, so we'll have to play well.
How has it been these last couple games, playing 40 minutes, getting that 40-minute treatment under Vic?
Yeah. Is it on? Sorry. Okay. It's definitely kind of adjustment, because at first I wasn't playing 40 minutes, especially kind of back to back. So my body is feeling it, but I'm glad to be able to play that long. I'm glad that he trusts me to be on the floor that long. And allow me to play through certain mistakes, so it's still good.
On Saturday, Deanna obviously had a huge game. What have you seen from her throughout this season, just kind of her progression? And I think a couple of your teammates have said she's the goofiest one on the team. Is that accurate? Yeah,
definitely the goofiest, probably the funniest. I think we've seen consistency from her, mentally and physically, as far as what she's doing on the court. I think she's bringing a lot to the table, giving all she got. So consistency, points in the paint. I feel like every time we pass her the ball, it's almost an automatic bucket. Even if it's not, it's going to be a rebound. I think us as guards, we feel more comfortable shooting freely, knowing if Heidi don't get it, then Dee's probably going to get the rebound. So I think she's bringing real consistency and physicality for us as a team, too.
Sonia, you got a similar opportunity that you had.
Oh, thank you. You have a similar opportunity that you had against Oklahoma State to avenge a road loss back here at home. Does more play into that when you've already lost to a team and you get a chance to get back at them? I mean, do you think about that?
Definitely. First off, since the last time that we played them, they beat us, so that's one. And then two, getting that win back on our record, I think it kind of puts extra motivation and focus for us, because we know we don't take no team lightly, but especially a team that we already lost to. So I think it just puts extra focus on us.
And then late in the third in Lawrence, y'all went down 7. Maybe earlier in the year you don't come back from that. I don't know how you look at it, but what is it about this team that allows you to not flinch in those type of moments on the road?
I think it's what Coach has been preaching about, just toughness, not just physical, but mental toughness. It was a lot of adversity, not even just that game, but the past week for us as a team. I think just battling through all the adversities, the ups and downs, and knowing it's a game of runs. They gonna get momentum sometimes, and we'll get momentum too. Excuse me. And I think that's what we did. We played through that, kept our heads, kept our emotions in check, and we applied the scout. We just came in. We knew what we had to do, and we finally did it.
Anything else? Terry.
Sonia, what is it like to, you're going in, last game was defense won. You obviously scored a lot of points, but defense took that game home. What is it like on the court when the whole entire team needs to step it up on defense? You're one of the leaders, Roy's one of the leaders, but everybody has to want to get into the game that way. What is it like for you to bring the other teammates along?
All the coaches really just talk about, like, if we see one person going hard, then the next person will go hard and the next person will go hard. You don't want to be the one person on the court that's lacking or like the weak link. So, and we all know teams in this league, they'll pick apart the weak part of the team. So I think it's just coming in knowing, like, if Rory gonna go hard, I gotta go hard. If Shaylee and Dee and everybody else is gonna go hard, then I gotta go hard too. And I think we all buy into that as a team, individually and collectively. And we know, like, yeah, we can score the ball, but what happens when we're not scoring? Or what happens if the other team is scoring just as much as us? It can't be trading buckets. So I think we all bought into the fact that defense comes first. If we come in the defensive mindset first as a priority, then, you know, everything else falls into place too.
And then with the 4 games left at home, if you had one of those games to pick to have what Coach Schaefer talks about, 10,000 fans there, which game would you want that to be?
Probably Texas Tech, only because of the rivalry. Other than that, I'm going to say, I think Iowa State was a good game to have, you know, a good amount of fans at. And if I had to pick another one, probably Baylor too. So, yeah.
Guys, anything in the back? Coach, can you pass it?
Back in the first couple of seasons that you've been here, it seems like that your teams have developed that reputation for finishing strong, playing your best basketball at the end of the year. As the calendar now turns into February, you look up, you guys have won what I guess Texas Tech was your last loss. You get that sense that this team is doing what your teams in the past year have done. You feel like y'all are starting to play your best basketball now and starting to figure things out.
Well, I hope so. I think the thing I've learned about this team is I just can't get comfortable with them. Which I don't get comfortable with any team, to be honest with you. I don't take anything for granted. I'm always coaching against the ghost. So I think, you know, we're searching and wanting consistency. We've managed to win 5 in a row, but, you know, we played some other teams pretty well early, and then we stubbed our toe, and then we get 2 wins, and we lose another one. And so I just think they would tell you I've not let my guard down probably since Texas Tech, and you know, I'm not going to. And but I think that's the way I've always been. This is a great group of kids. Like, I really enjoy being around them. They're a lot of fun. But when it comes to basketball, I think the consistency piece is what scares me, and so we're trying to attain and achieve that day in, day out, night in, night out. So from that standpoint, I'm certainly not comfortable, but I don't think, you know, I just think that's who I am, and that's how I coach. So they know today will be another, you know, today's always our long day, Mondays, and between film and weights and before we ever get on the floor. But you know, I'm encouraged, to answer the question, I'm encouraged by the last 5 games, certainly. We've had some games where we've played really well, dominating almost. And then you have your Kansas game where we were really challenged, and man, did they answer the bell. And so proud of their toughness, especially in that second half. But you know what, to get to that second half, we had a really bumpy first half.
Yeah. Vic, do you think this is a healthy rivalry with Tech?
I mean, it's you know, I don't know that rivalries in general, you know, and I don't, there's nothing, you know, I have no ill will or disrespect for anyone. I know how we handle our program and how we handle ourselves here at Texas, and that's all I can control. If other people want to act the way they act, that's on them and their administration and the way they are. But for us, as far as playing them, I have to be honest, it reminds me a lot of when I was at Mississippi State playing Ole Miss. Like, after a while, like we I couldn't hardly get my kids to focus, or not focus, but just help them understand the history of that rivalry. And it was no different to them than any other game. And in fact, some games they got up more than that game. So with this game, I know the history of the rivalry in women's basketball, and maybe obviously our administration does, but for our kids, I don't think they do. And you can sit around and talk to them and tell them all about it, but it's hard to sometimes convince young people. And again, give Tech a lot of credit. They outplayed us when we went up there, and they out-toughed us that night. And so we, just like any other game, when we went to Oklahoma State, same thing. They out-executed us down the stretch. They out-toughed us on 50-50 balls, and we got beat. I think we've addressed that somewhat with our team, and that's why we're where we're at today. Are we where we want to be? No. But I think at Kansas the other night, we got most of the 50-50s. And our team is really trying to change. And that, that's growth. So, again, I have no ill will or towards anyone in our league. I respect everybody. I know that on any given night, you're not ready to play, you won't get beat, you'll get embarrassed. And, that's just the way it is in this league. Danny, we look at it as 18 rivalry games. That's what we have in this league. That's how every game is. And, that's just what happens when you wear Texas across your chest.
Do you think this is a case where it's a good thing that you have so many newcomers who play this year, that they weren't here last year for the fireworks, and don't necessarily know the history, that they can actually treat this like just another game?
Well, unfortunately, I think our kids from last year have already told them about it, and I think they know a little bit of the history, and so it's fine. It's again, all I can control is my staff, myself, our players. When we went up there and won last year after we had gotten upset here at home, there were people in the media after the game that were trying to ask the questions to prod me, and Rory was sitting next to me and she was sticking me, and she said no, and my answer was no. And I think that's professionally, I think that's the way you're supposed to do it, and that's the way we'll always handle it. Look, we don't take away anything from anyone, and I think we always respect our opponents, and we give credit. I learned that from Coach Blair. You give credit when credit's due. If somebody beats your butt and just outplays you, then by God, those kids deserve the credit. I'm not going to take it out on the kids because some adult doesn't know how to handle themselves professionally. Those kids, if they did it, then give them credit. And I learned that from him. And there were times when I was a young assistant and I wanted him to go in there and speak the truth. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to handle things differently.
I think Rory missed a couple late.
Sure.
Against.
Will you throw this at Danny if he does that?
Rory missed a couple free throws late against Kansas. When you get to this point in the year, how do you transform her mind out of a moment like that and get her in the right place going to the line?
Well, I went to her down the stretch, and as I told her on her paper, kids fill out those papers, give them to me. I gave them back to them on the plane. I'm coming to her. I want the ball in her hands. She made 2 big shots for us down the stretch, and those were her number was being called, and I have so much confidence in her. And again, nobody wants to make those free throws more than her. And part of being a good free throw shooter is just wanting to be there. You got to want to be there. You got to want to be on the line, and it's just muscle memory at that point. And we make 50 a day. Everybody has to, and so we'll keep doing that. And she's in the gym. She was in the gym last week. She'll be in there today getting her extra shots up, and Sonia's in there a lot, you know, most every day as well. She's in there more than anybody and has been all year. But that's why Sonia will have a chance to play when this season's over. You know, she's going to have the chance to play for a while because she can make shots. And I think for Sonia, the thing that I've seen in her growth defensively, how she's way different today than she was a month ago, 2 months ago, way different than 3 months ago. And I think she's really, well, if you want to say bought in, or she's just learned. That's how I look at it. She's just learned how to do it, and she's learned that it's important. And if you're going to win, you're going to win championships. You're going to compete for championships. You got to play both ends. And so I think that's, again, I've talked about Dee, and you know, a couple of weeks ago talked about her and why, you know, seeing her growth, her maturity. That's why I coach. One of the reasons why, well, having Sonia and going through what we've gone through with her is also why I coach, seeing her development in that area. So it's still a work in progress. Nobody's perfect. We're not anywhere close to where I think we'll be in another month. And that's why we just go to work today and Monday and try to get better.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the 10,000 fans at the Moody Center. Is there a particular game that you would like to see that happen at? And as the present company is now exiting, is there any player on your team who can dunk the ball? And what do you think that would have an impact on bringing 10,000 players into this Moody Center?
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody that can dunk. I do think that, you know, for Sonia and her senior night, I would love to have 10,000 there, and I'll do my 10,000 for 10,000 that I did a year ago. I'll pledge $10,000 to Longhorn, neighborhood Longhorn program, to get 10,000 people there, and I think it'd be a great senior night for her. Be a great senior, you know, be a great night for our kids, and it's just a way to give back to the community. And just like last year, I'm sure there'll be some other folks that'll want to maybe jump in and be a part of that. So, but that would be a great thing for her. She's done a lot for us and continues to. And you know, I think her and the other Coach Schaefer, I think they've developed a great relationship. She listens. Sonia listens to her. Coach Schaefer is really helped her in her process of learning, doing things differently, and getting through maybe some tough stretches. And so I think it'd be really good. You know, it's certainly something that would be special for her, and I certainly would love to have that for her. So we'll see if we can get that.
Everybody good? Thank you.
Hey, appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Look forward to it.